MacKenzie Gore delivered yet another quality start for the Washington Nationals, but unfortunately they dropped it in the 10th inning against the New York Mets. And yes, this is not the end of the world, but still, we've got problems.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. Of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube. Again, just look up Locked On Nationals. And yeah, we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every single day. And later on in today's show, we have got a Game 2 preview of the Mets-Nats series. It's a big one. You're going up against one of your division rivals. Juan Soto stared down MacKenzie Gore last night, by the way. Could get a little spicy, I'm just saying. So we'll have that discussion for you later on in the show today. And in the second segment, got two things to talk about. Number one, Keibert Ruiz and the struggles that have just been piling up. And honestly, I've been biting my tongue for a while. The struggles are real. This is who Keibert Ruiz is. The proof is in the pudding. Let's talk about it because, again, we got to have more, and I've got some numbers to show you guys on kind of where he stands amongst catchers in Major League Baseball. And also, the Nats called up their top paw sprect. It's a great bit by the Washington Nationals, so we'll discuss that later on in the show today. But we start off discussing last night's loss in extra innings. The Nationals, they had the Mets on the ropes. Unfortunately, they could not get the job done. They had a 4-2 lead heading into the 8th inning, and unfortunately for the Washington Nationals, they did not get the job done. Before we jump into it, today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money, and take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. MacKenzie Gore delivered yet another quality start. And I want to harp on the good before we kind of get into the bad that kind of transpired as the game went on. And it obviously, just before we kind of jump into that, the game was not that bad. Like, yes, was it a frustrating loss? Absolutely. But you are going up against one of the most talented teams in baseball. If you're playing the Colorado Rockies and you lose that game, yes, sound all the alarms. But you're going up against a very potent offense with your ace on the mound, and MacKenzie Gore did his job. Went 6 innings pitched, you have 5 hits, 2 earned runs, you have that 1 home run to Juan Soto. But other than that, MacKenzie Gore was dominant yet again. 6 strikeouts over the course of yesterday's game also. MacKenzie Gore just delivers yet another quality start. And he had the Nationals set up to get himself a win there. Obviously, we know what happened. The Nationals bullpen came in. The Nats offense slowed down. And the Mets caught up. And all of a sudden, it was a tie game there after the 8th inning when they scored 2 runs. And that was it. The Nationals lost the game. And unfortunately, in the 10th, you have Cole Henry come in with the runner on second because the dumb extra innings rule is, I hate it so much. And the Nationals could not capitalize on their opportunities there in the 10th. And that's when you kind of knew this game was not going to be for long. You just knew it. But I want to harp on MacKenzie Gore, though. Over his last 3 starts, MacKenzie Gore has walked 1 batter over his last 3. That's 19 innings, and he has only walked 1 batter and has struck out 21 batters in that frame also. Do you remember the last few years and the conversations surrounding MacKenzie Gore? We're all talking about really 2 things here. Number one, the mistakes kind of seem to pile up on MacKenzie Gore as games go on, whether it be pitch placement, whether it be missing the zone, or whatever it is. MacKenzie Gore has completely wiped that out of his repertoire at this point. This guy does not miss. And yes, I was actually looking at MLB.com. They had him in top 5 in the NL Cy Young conversation. That's where he belongs at this point. This is a true ace of your team. This is someone, when you are at Citi Field on a Tuesday night in June, playing against Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and that loaded Mets offense. You want this guy going up against that team. And he lived up to the task. This guy delivers every 5 games, regardless of the opponent. This is your ace. This is what it looks like. And luckily enough for us Nats fans, we know what it looks like. We remember Max Scherzer going out there every 5 days. We remember Jordan Zimmerman back in the early 2010s going out there, and Steven Strasburg also in that conversation. Now, this decade's version of that is MacKenzie Gore. I don't know if he's going to be Max Scherzer, but I can tell you one thing. I'm not going to put limitations on this guy anymore. He is an ace. He is a 1A starter for this team. The speculation that I had really over the last year or two was maybe this guy's a number 2 starter on a really good team, which is a great thing. But no, he has proven to be a 1 starter for this team. And I think in last night's contest, going up against a very good Mets offense, it just proved it. But yeah, that was not all that happened in yesterday's game. The Nationals did end up losing the ball game. That's 3 losses in a row for the Nats team. And right now we're in a funk. You're 30 and 36 on the season so far. And the losses just seem to pile up. Let's talk about what happened in the 8th inning of last night's game, because Jose Frere comes in, and we actually just went over the numbers on Monday's show. Jose Frere has been really good as of late. He has come in, he has done his part, but unfortunately that was not the case in Tuesday's loss. The 7th inning there, it got a little bit out of hand, and that's kind of where the worst part of Jose Frere came out for the Washington Nationals. It started off relatively decent for him, and it felt as if the Nationals would be on their way to a victory because this bullpen, it's been a lot better. Brad Lord came in, shut it down in the 7th inning, and then the 8th inning comes around, and that's kind of where it gets dicey. Do you go to Cole Henry? Do you go to Jose Frere, who has really proven himself as of late? And the Nationals, they're starting to set themselves up with a nice, young, quality bullpen. But then it happens with Jose Frere giving up a double. And, of course, Juan Soto does what Juan Soto does. A hit out to Robert Hassel III, who was moved from center field into right field, with Jacob Young taking his place in center. And that's where the Young kind of mistakes come in. I can live with that. And for those who maybe didn't get to see that, it was Juan Soto hits a double to runner on second, and Robert Hassel III tries to lay out for a ball there, in which he probably should have let hop and fielded on the ground there, but he lays out for it. He misses the ball, and the Mets tied the game there. That's kind of when I knew that this Nats team would lose yesterday's game. And just to kind of go in on that mistake, yeah, it's not a good one. You would like to see one of your premier defensive fielders out there make that play, field the ball in a hop, and then get the ball in and save a run that scores, that then ties the game. But unfortunately, that was not the case for the Nationals. This is part of the rebuild. This is part of the growing pains that we have talked about for years now. It's going to happen with young players. Robert Hassel III is a premier defensive player out there. It's going to happen. I can assure you of this. With the track record that he has had defensively in the outfield, this is not going to be a thing moving forward. It's not. That was one bad mistake. That's going to happen. He's going to have to take it on the chin and move on from it. But I can live with that mistake right there. It's not as if that he was being lazy and just laid out for a ball. No, he was giving his full effort. He thought he could catch it. I thought he was going to catch it there also. And unfortunately, down stuff off the ground, misplayed it, and the Mets tied the game. That's part of the growing pains there. It's going to happen. Juan Soto, one of the best players in all of baseball. He's been one of the hottest hitters over the last 2 weeks in the game. And unfortunately, we got by Juan Soto in last night's game. So with that mistake, flush it down the toilet. I'm all good with it. But within where the Nationals are right now, once you get into the 9th and the 10th inning, and really in the 9th inning there also, or in the 8th, I guess you could say with Kyle Finnegan, that's just kind of when you think to yourself, it's going to be one of those games. This is a good ball club with the Mets, though. I'm not that upset over last night's game. I even tweeted it out. I'm not mad at the Nationals for losing the game yesterday. I'm more so just disappointed. It's like your kid. You know this kid is a young, wild child of a kid. You know they're going to mess up every now and then. This is still a young ball club. But you would like to see them make the right decision. Just sometimes they won't. And guess what? Most of the time, they won't. This team is going to get better. We have seen it go through some hot stretches. We are still missing Dylan Cruz. We are still missing some of our premier young talent like Brady House, who should be up in the big leagues like yesterday. Things are going to change, and things are going to change for the better. It's just not right now. And when you go up against a good Mets team, it is frustrating when you lose a game like that with MacKenzie Gore delivering yet another terrific start. But with where the Nationals are at right now, those are kind of the expectations that we have set. So, all in all, MacKenzie Gore, he's a stud. He's an ace. Every 5 days, you're going to get 6+ innings. He's going to strike out 7+ guys, and he's going to be a star. But can the bullpen save his butt? Probably not at this point. And that's just an unfortunate thing. It's what's going to happen when you're a young ball club trying to find their way throughout this really tough division right now. So you lose to the Mets, it's going to happen, unfortunately. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Next, let's talk about Keibert Ruiz and the Nats top prospect. I love it. We'll talk about that and more after we tell you guys about our friends over at Monarch Money. Do you ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go between dining out and online shopping and entertainment? It's easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. And Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center, so you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. I've told you guys this. I'm 25 years old. I don't have much money to save up, but with Monarch Money, they have helped me cut out some key just contributors to why I spend too much money, which is like my door dashing habit, or whether it be going out on Wednesdays and Thursdays nights and spending too much money on drinks or watching the Nationals play, whatever it is. They help me manage my money, set goals, and stay on the same page without any stress, because again, it's all in one app, and it helps me be able to go out maybe just once a week and cut back on my losses. It helps me, so I want it to help you as well and help it take control of your finances with Monarch Money. And use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Now we jump back into it with the Washington Nationals, as we have got a discussion of catcher Keibert Ruiz. And yes, if you're an everydayer, you have had this and you have heard this before. But guys, when is it time to call it quits on Keibert Ruiz? We are getting there. I'm just going to be honest. We are certainly getting to that point at this point in time. Davey the other day kind of acknowledged that there would be some lineup changes if things do not change. I think that was kind of at Nathaniel Lowe. I think it was really at Keibert Ruiz, and he's kind of been the focal point. Because last year, it was a lost season for Keibert Ruiz. It was bad. He struggled basically out of the get-go. He has never been a good defensive catcher. And offensively, he has always had the upside. We've always talked about how unlucky he is. But at what point in time do you look at a guy and say, oh, this guy's just been unlucky for 4+ years? That's not really the case anymore. The proof is in the pudding for Keibert Ruiz. He is what the numbers say he is. And what the numbers say that he is, well, just since the beginning of May, put it in this perspective. He is batting .202, a .223 OBP, and a .257 slug. That is a .480 OPS since the beginning of May. That's nearly a month and a half of work there that Keibert Ruiz has done. In that time frame, it's 6 doubles, 22 hits, and 109 at-bats. Guys, Keibert Ruiz is not a power hitter. He is not. He should be batting 8th in a lineup and really might even be batting 9th. But Keibert Ruiz right now is holding back this team offensively. He just is. And as far as catchers go, because I've heard this argument before in the past, well, if you compare him to other catchers, he's not that bad offensively. He is. He is that bad, guys. Right now, he is last amongst qualifying catchers in slugging with a .325 slug. He is 4th to last in OBP, 2nd to last in weighted runs created plus, and he has dead last F4 with a -0.7. And he's 2nd to last in his base on balls percentage. This is a bad offensive player at this point in time. This is a bad overall catcher at this point in time. I wish there was a way to sugarcoat it because he is tied up with the Nationals through 2030, which is a very team contract. That's the back burner of this discussion at this point. But it's time to acknowledge this. The time is like now for Keibert Ruiz. And we have said this for years now at this point. He is not living up to the expectations of being a top 30 prospect. He is not living up to the expectations of being a top offensive catcher in baseball. He is not that. We would be very lucky if Keibert Ruiz was an average offensive catcher at this point. He is not any of those things. Where he ranks amongst catchers, again, the numbers are right there in front of you. Catchers have never been a premier offensive position. You always like to have a good defensive catcher, which, by the way, do we want to talk about his defense here? He's in the 1st percentile as far as framing goes. He's in the 20th percentile as far as his pop time goes. His blocks above average is in the 2nd percentile. Now, his caught stealing above average is in the 61st percentile. So, yeah, he's above average in that time, in that aspect, in my opinion. But even then, that could be a fluke because the numbers overall of the past few years, they have indicated that he is below average in that category also. I think I've given up on Keibert Ruiz. That's it. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. If you take away his first 5 games of the season here, where he had like 4 multi-hit games and was killing the baseball, had a couple of home runs, he has not hit for power. He has not come up in big situations. He puts the ball in play at an elite rate. He does not strike out. He's amongst one of the best hitters in baseball as far as not striking out goes. But also in that same sense, he chases at a rate that is insane at this point. For someone who knows the zone as a catcher, that's typically something that they cannot do. And he does it at a terrible rate in the 11th percentile, according to Baseball Savant. It's time. We have kind of given Keibert Ruiz the most time. And for whatever reason, he has been protected. But the reason why he is protected is we have no one else. Riley Adams offensively right now is way worse than Keibert Ruiz. Defensively, he might be better, but even then, not by much. The Nationals have got to address this catcher position moving forward. And if you look back in this offseason, we talked a lot about this. The Nationals, they just said, you know what? We're going to roll with Riley Adams, our backup catcher. No. Keibert Ruiz needs to be platooned with someone. I don't know who that person is at this point, but I look down at Caleb Lomavita, who's down in the minors. He's having a pretty solid season overall, but he's not killing the baseball. He's solid. But even then, that's going to take a year or two for him to get up to the majors. They're going to have to address this thing in the offseason. In fact, it's one of my biggest needs at this point. We have just abandoned the catcher position at this point, and we see the results. We are getting none. That's the result. So right now, with where the Nationals are, where do you stand on Keibert Ruiz? Because I can tell you this, the proof is there. It's been years of this production now. It's been years of he got hot. He had a couple home runs this series. Then all of a sudden, he goes 2 for his next 32. And you're like, what just happened to him? And we're holding on and clinging to this hot streak that he's on, saying he's going to turn it around. This is the time. He's 26 years old now. He's not a prospect. He's not a young player. He's a veteran player. This is a leader in the clubhouse, which is of value to this team, I will say. But also, oh my gosh, the production is not there. And just to put a bow in the conversation, just to kind of reiterate the point of where he stands, he is dead last in F4 as far as catchers go. He is a negative to this baseball team at this point. A negative 0.7 F4. Second to last in weighted runs created plus. Dead last amongst qualifying catchers in slug with a 325. He's not a power hitter. He's not good defensively. And right now, where he stands today, he is a negative to this baseball team. And it's unfortunate because the talent is there. We have seen the power in years past. We have seen him put the ball in play at an elite rate, which he continues to do. But at what point will there be damage done? And there has not been any. So yeah, I'm a little tired of this experiment. It's done. It's not going to work at this point. That's where I stand with Keibert Ruiz. But now let's get into some better news. The Nationals are calling up their top prospect. Not Brady House. I'll tell you who that is after we tell you guys about some of our very good friends over at Supply House. And of course, get the supplies that you need from the site made for the skilled trades Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online, and their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. And I live in a rental here. Sometimes things break down, whether it be an AC or a plumbing issue, and I go to supplyhouse.com. They give me the supplies that I need for that fix, and also give me step-by-step instructions for the skilled professionals and also the non-skilled professionals just like me. I use these tools as well. I want you to use that for your advantage. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. And plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is supplyhouse.com. And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So the Nationals, they have called up their top prospect, which is Bruce the Bat Dog from AAA Rochester. The Nationals kind of put this out of nowhere, and honestly, great move. Whoever made that decision inside their management team or the marketing team, whatever you want to say, awesome job by the Washington Nationals. They even put out a little statement on Bruce the Bat Dog and just give you a little idea of what this guy is going to bring to this Nationals team. Bruce is a 1 year and 9 months old dog who is in people years, by the way. And for his first clear major league assignment, he is now going to be a Washington National. And this is from a quote by the Washington Nationals and Rochester Red Wings general manager Dan Mason. Our fans and front office are always excited to see our players get promoted to the National But Bruce's promotion is a historic call-up to the big leagues that he richly deserves. Nobody makes people smile more than Bruce, and I'm sure he'll do a wolf-tastic job for the Nats. He has proven himself to be ready for the show in a very short time and has earned the phenom status that has been bestowed upon him, and he'll put on a doggone great show for Nats fans on June 14th. So yes, he'll be in town this Saturday at 1:05 first pitch, not the typical 4:05 first pitch for the Washington Nationals, and I thought that was hilarious. So I wanted to talk about Bruce the Bat Dog, and I have heard that he's actually not going to be retrieving bats, but he will be there. I believe he's actually going to be, him and his trainer will be taking questions from the media. Just a 10 out of 10 bit by the Washington Nationals. Just hilarious. I can't say more than that. Hilarious bit by the Washington Nationals. They need some good PR right now. They're getting some with Bruce the Bat Dog. I love the idea. And fortunately for the Nats, just good for them. Hilarious. Do more things like this. It's a long season. Things can get frustrating at times, but if you call up Bruce the Bat Dog, pretty cool. So wanted to shout that out real quick before we jump into this preview with the Washington Nationals and the New York Mets. As the Nationals and the Mets get ready to take on Game 2 of this series, the Nationals are 30-36. They have lost 3 straight games. The New York Mets, well, they've won 4 straight games, and they are the hot team right now. And unfortunately for the Nationals, they're getting their 3 best pitchers of where we sit today. And in tonight's game, you've got Jake Irvin, who has had his ups and downs. He has not really been that consistent as of late. Although I will say this, I do believe that Jake Irvin is starting to kind of prove himself in many different ways. This guy belongs in the rotation. I think he's a number 3, number 4 starter on a good team. And he's coming off a start where he wasn't great. Like, he gave up 3 earned runs against a very potent Cubs offense and held himself pretty well over 5 innings pitched. Gave up those 8 hits, but still, the start before that, it was a tough one for him, giving up 6 earned runs in Arizona in those 5 innings. So Jake Irvin tonight, you're going up against another very good Mets lineup. And unfortunately for the Nationals, you're going up against David Peterson, another left-handed pitcher. And this is what I expect. Andres Chaparro, he is going to be in this lineup in tonight's ball game. One way or another, probably you're going to see Josh Bell sitting on the bench. Maybe you see Nathaniel Lowe on the bench with the lefty on the bump with Peterson. But kind of where the Nationals are, they're missing a right-handed power bat. If only there was someone down in the minors killing the baseball that is ready to take that jump. Brady House. That's it. But it's fine. Everything is fine. No one should be upset at this point. At least at this point. So yeah, the lineup is going to look different because the Nationals, you've got James Wood. You've got C.J. Abrams. Robert Hassel III. Nathaniel Lowe, Luis Garcia Jr. You are loaded with left-handed bats. So yeah, on paper, this lineup, you're like, this is going to be a tough one. But with the addition of Andres Chaparro, we didn't really talk about him at all in the first segment, but his first at-bat in yesterday's game, doubles in the right center gap there. Almost got thrown out at second, by the way. Please do not run like that, Andres Chaparro, but made it all well. Got to second base, and the Nationals, that could be the little fix right now with where you are. It's the patch in your tire that probably not going to have much run, but it might get you to destination B from the beginning of destination A. So the Nationals, yeah, they're going to have some work to do, but tonight's contest, it's going to be a tough one with a left-handed pitcher on the bump, but it's not going to get easier because you have the Mets ace on the bump in tomorrow's game. So hopefully for the Nationals, they get things on track. But until then, we'll just have to watch and see what they do in tonight's contest. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.